Awesome.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. We got Mega Man 4 coming up for you guys, so one of the best Mega Man games.
Agreed. So nice to hear somebody else say that.
Yeah,
What's that?
without a doubt.
It's always me saying it. It's nice to hear a different voice say it.
Not just the voices in your head.
Yeah. They do exist. I knew
They
it.
do exist.
You ready? All right, cool. Well, let's get this underway then. In 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, Pharaoh. So there's a jump at the beginning of this that could be kind of mean. There's a fly that can snipe me, so if he does, that's gonna suck, but hopefully he doesn't, because I'm gonna go for it.
Yep, he's grabbing the balloon straight away. Two of the special items, the balloon and wire, are unique in that after you grab them, you sort of respawn almost right away. But in this stage, the balloon sends you to the checkpoint halfway through the stage, skipping a significant portion. Easy money.
He
problem.
actually gave me a pattern that could have hit me in. I had to let go of jump there. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, but by being optimal, you were able to outrun him a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little tricky,
It's 43.
but a couple hits there in the first screen slowed me down, but that's all right. That's good. Makes me feel better every time I get that. I'm also gonna go for something that's really dumb. If I don't feel like it's gonna go well, then I'm gonna stop midway, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to slide on the spikes like an idiot.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
why not? Nope, didn't get it. You need to do a 5 or a 6 frame jump there to get on top of the platform. 5 is ideal, but unfortunately I was just a little too low, so I didn't make it.
So yeah, we start with the Pharaoh. Bright is also a pretty solid option to begin with. But Pharaoh, while he's weak against Bright, it's a relatively slow kill with the Bright Stopper. With the Charge Mega Buster is a real fast way to kill him. Technically, using Dust is the fastest way to kill Pharaoh Man, but and Pharaoh Shot is an extremely versatile weapon that we'll be using throughout most of the game. And of course, the stage also provides the balloon power-up, which is a nice movement utility.
Good boss.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I talked too soon.
And there we go. Yeah, Pharaoh Man,
Dang.
his jump behavior is kind of dependent on how close you are to him. So you want to stay pretty close to Pharaoh Man, and he makes the fight much more manageable. And in general, you want to you want to destroy the bosses as close to the center of the screen as possible, because the boss explosion sprites will despawn faster. The end level sequence doesn't start until all of the explosion particles have left the screen.
Yeah.
All right, my Mega Man 4 song right here. Good stuff. And fortunately, the insane balloon jump strats of yesteryear are actually not any faster, so...
Not yet.
Okay.
I would like to go back and look at it again, because I do believe that it will be better, but... yeah, there's a lot of lag that's generated from them, and so at the moment, riding the grasshoppers is still the ideal scenario if you get good luck from the grasshoppers. It's still a little bit RNG dependent.
Yeah, is it each grasshopper has 1 or 2 jump lengths it can do?
Yep.
And it keeps that same jump length throughout its cycle.
Yeah, once it starts going, it's chosen what it's going to do.
So you want the high jumps for as many of them as you can.
Correct, yeah. Oh, that's too early.
And this is kind of so to describe the intention behind this weakness order, Bright is technically weak against Toad, and it is the fastest way to kill him. Okay, maybe not.
It's hard to tell, because, yeah, Toad's weapon is kind of slow when it goes up into the air.
Even though it does us a little more damage, but the usefulness of Pharaoh Shot is definitely very clear in that it's basically like 2 charge buster shots, because by charging it up, you can collide the charge floating above your head with an enemy and still have the projectile shot. So it's like 2 consecutive charge buster shots, and against all bosses, it'll do 3 damage, just like your charge buster. Good last part there. That's kind of a scary room. And one a note about Brightman is you want to do certain damages to him to avoid his health being at certain values. That is the only way to trigger his Bright Stopper. So by doing damage a certain way, we can ensure that Brightman will never use his Time Stopper, making the fight somewhat trivial. Nice.
Yeah, 16, 8 and health, or 8 and 4 health. He'll use Flash Stopper, so we want to avoid that.
And a random subtlety there, you'll see it hopefully on every stage at the end by standing on the exact center pixel at the end of the stage. It cuts out the jump time that Mega Man does during the weapon get cutscene there, saving what, a second maybe? But okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah, about that. So we're gonna go to dive, I guess.
yeah,
Sure.
It won't be too much slower except for the boss fight.
Yeah. I will still be able to do most of the stage correctly, which is fine.
Yeah, there's some old strats you can do in the second or the last third of the stage that you'd normally switch a skull on. That's not too bad.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Balloon,
I should
whale
try to do
skips?
balloon.
Yeah, dude.
I'll try to do one. See if I can do one. I haven't practiced it though, so.
Nice.
I overmashed a little bit, but it's alright. Play it a little safe here. Up, slide.
So another good reason to go to Brightman without necessarily having his weakness is you get the use of his Time Stopper. Bright Stopper?
Flash Stopper.
Flash Stopper.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's so confusing. Yeah, Flashman has Time Stopper, Brightman has Flash Stopper. Whatever. Is that it's really effective in almost all of these stages. You reduce a nice amount of lag by keeping all the enemies frozen and just make the strategies much easier.
We'll try it. We'll see how it goes.
Go for it. Yeah, there we go.
Don't fall into the pit.
Oh my
okay.
god! Okay, that was about to be wire percent.
Ah!
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, you
Toad would
slide
love
through
me
this.
for
It's just a
that.
slightly more lag not having the skull barrier there.
Alright, I guess we're Buster. You can actually fight him with Pharaoh, but it's
That'd
not
be tough.
ideal. Because his missiles actually will deflect.
Yeah, you want to stay on the ground while he shoots his missiles, or else they become really hard to manage. And as long as you do that, this is a real simple fight with the Buster. For a first timer, I recommend not even charging. Just mash the button and stay on the ground as much as you can.
Yeah.
There you go. And this is a real tricky stage to get that skip, and there's also an additional thing to it.
Nice.
Oh, nice, dude. Okay. So it's kind of an extension of the center of the screen weapon get cutscene skip, where you can not only stand in the center horizontally, if you have the means to get to the center vertically of the screen, it skips an additional portion of that. Do you know the total time savings of that trick?
I want to say that one was 82 frames
Okay, wow.
to get that one, because the water is a little slower, the jump is a lot higher and less optimal than the rest of the screens.
And on top of just simply that time savings, it's just, in general, a good idea to minimize potential time loss on that, because just like the boss's explosion sprites disappearing, causing the cutscene to occur, also the bubbles on the screen will delay the cutscene from happening. So you want Mega Man to you want to position near the top of the screen at the right time so that his last bubble leaves the screen right as the last explosion particle leaves the screen.
Yeah.
It's real weird to have to worry about little things like that to save time.
Oops.
This is
I got on it.
Oh my god!
Good God.
That's a lot of damage taken.
Yeah, it's not really ideal for this stage either. I'm still on balloon. I don't know why. Just started playing away.
Yeah, I thought you were about to go for some TAS-related stuff on that first hippo.
So I'm not going to do the KZ's boost here, because I'm going to try to save my health.
Yeah,
if I
you're taking some
can.
damage. Yeah, this is the mini boss rush, the stage. There's 4 mini bosses in this. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And if you caught the beginning of this classic Mega Man block, this tile set here was in the Mega Man Game Gear and Quick Man stage. Totally weird. And this is the boss that's actually weak against Pharaoh Shot. But Ringman's a deterministic fight. You can have full control over it. but it's really subtle in how it works. Most players struggle with this fight for like the longest time. It's a real tough fight to get down properly. And you'll notice that a lot of enemies do high contact damage in this. Any mini-boss or any robot master, I think that's true, will do 8 damage to you on body contact.
Pharaoh's the only one that doesn't, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does 4, I think.
Nice.
Later.
Okay. It was also real close to the center of the screen kill.
Yeah, the ring fight is really fun just because of how fast he dies. It's like, gets hit. And with the double hits, like, it's so quick.
Yeah, a real hard part of learning that fight is properly hitting him with the charge shot above you without running into him. Because the shot kind of like tracks your position, so you can kind of lead it into Ringman without getting hit yourself.
Yeah.
It takes some practice. And Dustman stage is I find it to be a really annoying stage. It's got a lot of real hard optimization that you can go for.
I'll try and do the zip. Sure, why not?
Okay, let's go.
The zip, it doesn't actually save any time. It's actually slower, but it looks really cool. So I like doing it when I'm not in a serious run, because I don't get to do it in serious runs. I'll try to do it.
Yeah, zipping is possible in the Mega Man 3, 4, 5, and I guess 6 engine. But it's not as like versatile as it is in 1 or 2. Because generally, you can only be zipping during a special state of sliding, and if you aren't invulnerable from having taken damage, the zip will usually kill you, counting as like being crushed. So the utility is real few and far between in these games. There is one zip that is very common in Mega Man 4, and we'll see that in Skullman stage, but Chelney's going to try and give us a special show here.
Nice.
Dude, sick.
I love
my
that.
God. Yeah, it's
so
awesome.
Oops.
That's a long zip, too.
Yeah.
Nice.
You have to be careful to not zip off screen there, because you soft lock the game if you do, so.
Nice. This is like one of the few Mets that takes more than one hit to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zip condition is, I want to say you got to be sliding while against a ceiling while taking damage.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or you against the ceiling corner?
It's,
like
for most of the zips, yeah, like the ones that aren't the standard ones that we're going to do, yeah, that's pretty much what we're going for. That one there is really just unique because the Crusher does some weird zipping aspects when it changes directions. So basically, I was getting hit and then squished in an area where I technically shouldn't have been able to stand, a one tile area. And so the game doesn't know where to put me, and then all of a sudden it triggers the direction change and it zips me, and it's just like, well, I'm just gonna send you all the way out because you're not supposed to be here, kind of thing. So it's kind of weird, but.
And if he hadn't taken damage at the right time, he would have died just somewhere along that zip.
Yeah. Definitely have to have the invincibility frames.
So here's the real common zip. It's a really easy setup. Kind of a staple.
I forget I have invisible.
Oh, no problem. And it's interesting that it kind of pushes Mega Man a little bit forward on the screen. And this Skullman stage is where you really get to see the use of the balloon come into play. We saw a small sampler in Ringman stage, but this is you can kind of see the vertical movement that the balloon enables. One nice, like, kind of subtle property about it is that when you place a balloon like against a wall, it despawns and makes like this, disappearing effect. But it turns out that little disappearing sprite still has the hitbox properties of the balloon, so you can place them against the wall and jump off of them if you're pretty quick. And what's kind of nice about that is it reduces a good amount of lag as well and gives you fast vertical movement. This is a real fun speed stage to go through.
Yeah, Skull's a lot of fun.
And you can really start to see the utility of Bright here. One of the extra properties of freezing enemies is that enemies that are normally invulnerable or have a shield-like phase are just vulnerable all the time. Like shooting those shell guys from behind or those skull Joes.
Yeah. Yo, nice pattern.
Yep, nice. Yeah, the really short shield cycle.
Oop.
Nice. Oh,
just
that was
got
the
it.
last moment.
Yeah, I had to adjust my subpixel. I wasn't going to be able to stand on it, so you just do that really quick by sliding, and it adjusts it to like just a little bit off the other one. It's kind of weird how it works. So remember, dive is dead, so I'm going to hit down, because if I don't say that out loud, I'll probably hit up.
Glad you remembered.
Muscle memory.
Totally and yes, I guess because there's special items you can collect, the game lets you revisit stages.
Yep, yeah. Skull is actually a pretty common one for that, because there's 2 E-tanks in that stage, so for casual runners, it's a really good spot to go to.
And if you were wondering, we didn't pick up the wire in Dive Man stage, because not only is it not useful as a tool throughout the game, it spawns you way too far back in Dive Man stage. It does not have the kind of stage skipping advantage that getting the balloon in Pharaoh Man stage had. And here's another stage that Bright Stopper, Flash Stopper is just incredibly useful.
Yeah, being able to hold these enemies in place so they're not flying around getting in your way is a really big advantage.
Nice timing. There's just a very, very brief window to freeze those guys before they shoot.
Let's see if we can get a 1 flash here. This is kind of tricky. It's a really long room, so...
Yeah, the duration of the Bright Stopper duration of the Flash Stopper doesn't count down while you're sliding. So as long as your slides are nice and continuous, you can extend the freeze period for the entire room.
Got it.
And that's nice because that reduced a lot of lag. Those boulders cause a huge amount of lag. And Chell Drill,
my best
favorite
friend.
boss. Ah, man.
Almost. It's all right. 1 dive is not too bad. Every dive costs about 4.3 seconds, so it sucks when you get them, but like 1 dive is not too terrible. That's about my average fight. I usually consider 2 dives to be kind of a below average fight, and then if you get more than that, it's really rare actually to get more than 2, I find. But it all depends on your execution, because the longer the fight goes, the more risk you have of him diving, so...
Yeah, and that's one of the larger random aspects of the run.
Yep.
And as well as a couple of bosses in the Caustic and Wily stages. Fortunately, Toadman stage is kind of a breather before the intense endgame begins. Bright Stopper really makes this much more bearable. Certainly the screen is way easier than in the Game Gear version now.
Yeah, for sure.
God, we're like all making references to Game Gear Mega Man like it's legit now. What have we done? Like,
Nice.
okay, no soft lock, please. I don't expect it to happen. It's more of just a meme to say that until it does.
Shouldn't happen, unless my B button somehow freaks out on me, somehow. Nope. Yeah, you can soft lock if you freeze on the frame that the fight activates, which would be, in this case, the frame I touched the floor. It can be sometimes the first frame of the room, because he activates, if you menu as you're falling into the room, then for whatever reason the activation frame is the very first frame. So that's why some people will get it by mashing if they pause as they're falling into the room, but usually it's such a thing that's such a rare thing to see, because the only time you would do that is if you die. So for a normal run, if that happens, you're not going to see that, because if you die, usually you're just going to reset anyway.
It's also somewhat, in a way, it's also risky to time pressing the button if you want to avoid the soft lock potential, because there's actually a real brief window where you're able to do that and actually skip past the snail. I'm pretty sure it's like a solid hitbox appears after a few frames, right? And you can't pass it. Is it?
I think it's once the fight activates. I'm not sure. Like
Okay.
I've waited till you've fallen about halfway down the screen and it still worked, but
Okay.
I've never actually frame tested to see how big the window actually might be. but it's possible too that it appears there at some point.
Yeah, but his like damaging hitbox, like from his eye, is always there.
Yeah, it's always there. Yeah.
And the caustic stages. This is this is probably one of my favorite stages.
Yeah, same.
I love this track. This is amazing music, and the stage is just really technical. A lot of really precise slide jumps and buster shot management. These slinkies are surprisingly dangerous. They do 6 damage on contact, and they have 6 HP. And they've been tasked with defending his fortress.
Yeah.
Slinkies.
I love that room. It's a really fun room to execute.
Yeah, it is. And here's another room that has endless optimization to it.
Oops. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Ah, too early. Oh, way too early.
Yeah, that was a big thing there, was it's possible to despawn that Skull Joe there. By like kind of wiggling right as he appears.
Oh, I'm not gonna be.
Ew, okay.
Ah, missed my jump again too.
Is this Mega Man 6 style? Okay.
I was trying to keep that third balloon off the screen as long as possible because, like we said earlier, the balloons are really laggy, so you don't really want to have them on screen for very long if possible.
Yeah, that fancy balloon work there, actually, it doesn't save as much time as it seems. It has to be done very precisely in order to. Nice. Yeah, it's not only really hard to hit that guy's hitbox, but it's really important to conserve as much ring ammo as possible.
Yeah.
Ring is extremely useful throughout the remainder of the game.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. The hitbox of the ring weapon itself is a single pixel, so it makes trying to hit that one tile hitbox of Mothra really awkward, because he'll like to go up, and sometimes it looks like your ring should be hitting him, but because it's in the middle of the ring itself, the single pixel, it won't hit. Oh.
We have Caustic 2 here. It's got some real interesting balloon action. Very nice. Very nice. That's always a very scary room to do.
Yeah. Not going for the cool kid triple balloon. Because it's way too hard.
No aggro WAF setup either. All the potential lost. But no, those are beautiful first set of rooms there. Yeah, just this is one of the heavier practice stages just because of how much time the balloon saves, but yet how much risk it puts you in. Just
Health-wise even.
yeah, and weapon ammo usage-wise, since your ammo is preserved throughout the Wily stages. Any death, you just kind of forfeit a lot of the strategy from then on out. And one of the biggest RNG elements of the game coming right up.
Worst boss. You have a 1% chance to get the best pattern, which is really terrible.
God.
You have a 8% chance to get the second best pattern, and then like 9 or something for the next best, and then after that it's just ridiculous. Like 25% chance to get the worst, 40% chance to get the second worst. It's not a very fair fight.
Is that 4? Oh, 5, nice. Okay.
So second worst, but like I said, that's a 40% chance. It's very common, so.
Nice. And yeah, there's a lot of lag in this game if you haven't noticed yet, but Chelney employs a lot of like real subtle strategy to reduce lag all over the place. It's almost hard to point out a lot of it, but a lot of this game is constituted by lag, and that was kind of a trend in Mega Man 3 and 4, both just real laggy games. And here we have Mega Man 4 song and a famous auto-scroller, I guess.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot going on. But we'll be refilling some ammo here. So might as well, since there's not any optimized movement you have to worry about or anything. Just also lag reduction, I suppose. Like killing these turrets as soon as possible.
Yeah, before they shoot bullets.
Mega Man 5 reference.
Yep.
Easy.
Telling you, dude. Same drop rate. It's the same. It's like it's the exact same. And actually, one of those things is like not moving there and standing still before some of those other, or making sure that some of those red spark enemy things are off screen. That's actually a lag reduction thing. Like it's really small things that you can find. Like auto scrollers are hard to optimize, obviously, because they move at a set speed. But the only thing you can really do is try to prevent yourself from catching some lag frames somewhere. So it's like trying to do your movement in a way to take that away is kind of difficult sometimes. There's a couple other strats I can do similar. Oh my god.
Nice.
In this screen as well, but I'm not going to go for them because they're a lot harder to pull off and a lot more risky, and I'm not used to this TV, so I might not have the same visual cue. I usually look at something in the clouds, but...
Yeah, these platform sprites that appear will also contribute to the lag, so there are ways to get them off screen as soon as possible to reduce that. Also take advantage of the Pharaoh shots, like charge that you can carry around with you. It doesn't actually consume ammo until you launch the Pharaoh shot, so you can kind of hold the charge button as you unpause to start charging it, and then just switch weapons or change screens, so you don't have to use any ammo. And this is particularly scary because there's not a nice checkpoint in this stage.
Yeah.
Dying here or dying at the boss will send you back to the midway point of the entire level.
Yeah, that's really the sort of issue a lot of people had with this game when they tried to first beat it, was just the no checkpoints at bosses was pretty challenging. That's the leggy one.
Nice. What's that boss called again? It's a cockroach something? Or
Yeah,
is it-
something cockroaches,
Yeah,
I think,
okay.
yeah.
It's pretty repeatable. You approach the fight about the same way every time, but
Yeah. Yeah, the only randomness in that fight at all is like the shot at the very end there. He shot 4 little bullets. He can do a large single bullet, and that's a better pattern because it's less sprites on the screen.
no swag spikes though.
No.
Too bad.
I never actually properly learned how to do it, which is why I didn't go for it.
I would show you, but then I'd fear for your runs because I know from personal experience that it suddenly becomes real tempting to do it.
Right.
Cossack 4 is a pretty straightforward stage. Kind of calm before the storm. The boss fight is a little bit rough, though. You can see the rare usage of the drill being used to break these barriers.
Yeah, we'll see if I can get my stored charge strat here. I don't know. I haven't really practiced it much. I'm gonna shoot it over him, aren't I? Oh, I got him. Okay. So there's a weird thing in this game where if you charge the Buster and then pause and change to a different weapon, going back to the Buster, as long as you haven't gone to like a weapon like Jet, where you shoot lemons, when you unpause, you'll still have that full charge ready to go. So you reduce just a tiny bit of lag there by letting the drill hit the slinky and then pausing the lag off the screen from the explosion and letting the charge buster actually kill him. It's a really tiny optimization that technically I think really Darko found, because he was trying to do it by mashing and I was like, dude, you can store a charge. So it's kind of neat.
And this guy is technically weak against drill, or dust and ring, or is it just dust?
I think just dust.
Okay. Yeah, but it does 2 damage, and I think that could be done to actually kill him faster.
Yeah.
But dust is so valuable later on, we want to keep as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that fight is the only gameplay difference between the Japanese version and the North American version. It's slightly more difficult in this version.
Yep.
In that, in the North American version, Cossack will delay for a few extra seconds before he actually attacks.
You can get an extra full charge shot in before he starts moving, whereas this one he'll start moving right away.
And if I had to guess, the text might be a little faster.
Yeah, 33 frames faster on the Japanese version. It's about half a second. Or as I like to point out, about the amount of time that Almond in my race was at GQ, and he ran the North American version.
So it does matter.
I always say to myself, maybe that's why there was a time difference at the end. We maybe would have tied if we were on the same version. I don't know.
The lovely Met factory here. And like every enemy is some Met variant. Even though that's kind of gimmicky, this is actually an awesome speed stage. There's like this room in particular's movement is really fun to execute and real hard to optimize. And it puts you underwater also. Something I should mention is this is the first Mega Man game where when you are underwater, you have very restrictive slide jump mechanics. It turns into Mega Man 6, as we like to say. And you can't jump out of your slides properly. But it only underwater. And it's like that in Mega Man 5 as well.
I got 9 lives.
Dang.
It's crazy.
So it does have the same drop rate as 5? It's just that we tend to not kill as many enemies in this?
I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's very close. Like, I very often get to this stage with about 7 to 8 lives.
Wow.
So it's pretty nuts. And yeah, we kill so many enemies in 5 that it's more apparent in that game than this one. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Here's sort of another RNG boss. Is it? Can you lose cycles now? 'Cause I mean, now you can hit him 6 times with a ring. Before we didn't know about the 6 cycle with ring.
In theory, you should be able to kill him in 3 no matter what. But getting 5 hits on the short pattern is very hard. Like I've only done it a handful of times.
So like that was a short jump right there.
I usually don't even fire the 5th ring because it's like I don't even try to bother. But as long as you get 1 long pattern, you're usually gonna get a 3 cycle. The only other RNG part is he's either going to open up again after 3 or 4 seconds. So there's like a 1 second between each cycle that you might lose, but you don't usually see it. It's just like you see it at your splits after you finish, and it's like, oh, crap.
Turns out that boss is also weak against dust, I think, for the same amount of damage. Yep. But it turns out that ring is a more effective way to do it because ring will pierce the enemy, and because of that, yeah, you can guarantee that you hit him on the first frame that he's vulnerable every time. You just stick a ring out there, and it's on top of him as he gains vulnerability.
Yeah.
And here's like the last like real platforming stage, Wily 2. For God's sakes, do not hold up while on Rush Jet. Jump off of Rush there.
Yeah, the game.
It's like everybody screws that up the first time. Rush will kill you. Hardest jump in the game for me. There you go.
Yeah, that can be pretty tricky, especially if Rush if you get him a little bit like too far on the edge and kind of miss the hop on the back, it can be kind of a pain. Yo, got it.
Nice, that corner jump.
Oops, wrong way. That's the old way. So there's a little thing here that a lot of people like to say like the task found it, but actually Cool Kid showed me this well before the new task came out, so I don't know if he had insider information or not. But Rain Flesh will skip the health refill, similar to
Wily Machine.
Wily Machine, yeah. So we actually save a decent amount of time, about 0.7 seconds by doing that here, and then we still have enough Rain Flesh for the refights, so you might as well use it because otherwise it just gets wasted.
Even with the menu, like the 1.5 second or so menu.
Yeah, because just the
boss life,
fills.
they're so slow, it's still worth it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, when he first mentioned it to me, both of us thought it wouldn't be worth it because of the menus. It's just like, there's no way it could be that much time saved. But then the task did it, and I was like, really? It did it. So then I went and timed it, and I was like, yeah, it's actually a decent time save.
Yeah, this game is often characterized or criticized for the really slow boss health refill and the real slow screen transitions. It's like the only game that has that issue.
Nice. I like that's a strat that I started to do recently. You use the dust shot when it breaks apart. You use the ricochet shot, I guess, from the first one to hit the second enemy, and then he dies on the very first hit from the second dust shot, which is kind of nice.
Oh, instead of having to wait, because the dust shot will do like 2 ticks of damage when it hits an enemy, and it takes like, I don't know, like maybe 15 or something frames for the second
something like that for it to break apart.
So here you can see dust being used to speed up the. This is the fastest method of killing Pharaoh Man. Even so, it's a secondary weakness, but you can just lay out damage way faster than his primary weakness, which is Bright Stopper or Time Stopper, Flash Stopper. God, what is with it?
Yeah, and again, trying to route this pathing through these fights so that there's minimal menus is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, this has gone through many iterations, actually. I think more than most Mega Man games, like the number of changes to the order.
I messed that fight up a bit, but that's all right. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of soft weakness usage. You saw like Dust on Pharaoh. We'll see some Skull actually. Oops, what am I doing? In this next one.
Skull on Brightman, yeah. So it's kind of interesting that there's both a consistent way to set it up so that he never uses Time Stopper with just the Pharaoh shot. Here you use a combination of Skull and Toad, which use completely different damage values than Pharaoh shot, but you can still achieve that. So 5 hits with, I think it's 5, right?
Odd number, yeah, pretty much.
With Skull, and then just smash out the Toad. And what's also nice about this is that you can leave the fight with Rain Flush and start off the Drill Man fight with Rain Flush.
Right.
Because his primary weakness only does 3 damage. Drill is usually left with exactly 1 health after 9 hits, so the Rain Flush takes care of that last hit.
Yeah.
And it can be done while he's underground.
Yeah, which is great. It's the only thing you can hit him with, I think, where he's invulnerable like that, so. Oop. Almost got the figure 8.
Wait, did you save Rain Flush for the soft lock on Wily Machine?
I didn't know.
Oh,
That's the downside with the new strat with Taco Trash.
Oh yeah, we've got to point out some of the hilarious boss names throughout our Mega Man sessions. Although Mega Man 5 wasn't here, that's some of the best.
Yeah. Big pets.
Big bets.
Oops. So this fight's a little bit different than the last one because I can't start a charge at the beginning of the fight, so it's a little different. I use a couple small shots in this fight. But again, trying to finish fights right by the doorway so I can teleport out immediately is pretty important. Oh, come on, 2 more. 1 more. Oh, almost the perfect pattern.
Like you could, yeah. When Dust does his invincibility phase, you can run into him to force him to try and switch patterns, but he just didn't cooperate. Still.
Yeah.
Something interesting that Chelney is going to do here is if you defeat, so the ring, I think only does 3 damage.
3, yeah.
Yeah. So if you defeat him with when he only has 1 HP, if you finish off this form with Drill, it'll do the same life bar skip that you saw on the Wily 2 boss. And boom, just the second phase starts immediately. Alright, there it is. And yeah, fun fact, if you Rain Flush right now, you kill Wily, and then Mega Man gets stuck right here.
Yeah.
Like you actually kill Wily.
You can freeze him with Flash Stopper too. It's kind of funny. That's where I used to practice my slide chaining. You'd freeze him and then see how many slides you could chain together before he started moving again.
Nice.
So I'd go for like the best number I could get. So yeah, just 1 more stage left, 1 more boss fight.
And this is one of the tougher capsule fights I think throughout the Mega Man franchise. It can be done real fast, but it's hard to just handle being able to hit him wherever he appears. If he appears really close to you, it's hard to both dodge and shoot him. It does a surprising amount of damage to Mega Man, and you're also on a very low ammo count. And he's weak against Pharaoh Shot, but Ring will also do, I think, 1 damage to him.
Oh, I shouldn't have thrown that one.
And it's possible to get double hits, but he's really going to need to spawn at Mega Man's height or higher. Dang. You're ready on time. And...
Don't miss. Time.
38, 35.
Hey,
nice.
Yeah.
Mid 38 is an incredible time.
And to point out, there's the happy face.
And then Japanese timing.
Right? Yeah. Japanese timing is, at the end of the fanfare, which is actually what I use normally because trying to split in that fight is very awkward after getting your last hit. And if you die, which is a very likely scenario. I've seen a lot of runners actually die while trying to split. You don't win like Mega Man 2. You have to replay the stage. So it's a lot safer to use the JRTA timing. That way you have a very set time. It's always, your split is always going to be really accurate, and you can really focus on dodging everything till
Yeah,
the run's actually over. Yeah.
All right, so that's Mega Man 4.
Train song.